So Spider-Man Far From Home is officially 1 month away from releasing in theaters, which is why I'm going to be going back, rewatching, and reviewing every single Spider-Man film leading up to Far From Home. And we're going to be starting it off with the classic Sam Raimi Spider-Man from 2002. Movie that started it all. After this and X-Men, superhero movies really started to get big. And rewatching this movie, I have to tell you, it still holds up really well. CGI, plot points, storytelling, performances, all of those really hold up, even by today's standards. Starting off with the good, the origin story is just so fun and enjoyable. It's just told in such a nice way. The problems with some of the other forms of Spider-Man in media we've had, the problems with some of those is that we've already seen the origin story like over 1,000 times, so it kind of gets a bit repetitive. But having seen those other versions and then going back and watching this one, the story doesn't drag at all. It actually amplifies the story a little bit more because it's told in such a fun and enjoyable way. Also, some of the fight choreography holds up incredibly. I actually thought I was watching a movie from like early 2010s. The scene with Flash in the high school, the scene with the thugs in the alleyway, all of that was choreographed very well. And we all know Tobey Maguire is a great Peter Parker, but I just don't think he gets enough credit for his role. I mean, the emotional scenes that he's in, even though some of them became kind of like a meme sort of, at the end of the day, they're still amazing, great, convincing, emotional performances, and I think he really deserves more credit for his Peter Parker. His Spider-Man, meh, but Peter Parker, like, top notch. I'm also gonna give it to Willem Dafoe because every time we saw that type of dual personality thing, I totally bought what he was selling. The confused man not knowing what's going on, that part was done very well. And then the crazy psychotic maniac, the Green Goblin part of him, that was done very well. I just totally bought that there were these two different personalities living inside of this one person. And I mean, I don't understand. I think it's talked about, but I just don't understand why it's not talked about more, because his performance is truly incredible in this. And then obviously J.K. Simmons, you cannot replace him. It's like Ryan Reynolds with Deadpool, RDJ as Iron Man, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. You can't replace this guy. If the MCU decides to do him again, please just get J.K. Simmons back, because man, oh man, every time he was on screen, every single line he had, I just felt like it was fresh and just funny in a different sort of way. It's not funny as in like a joke that you would tell your friends. It's funny because it just works. The way he says it, who he says it to, the context, it just all really works. And I'm pretty sure he was improvising in some parts. Now, stuff that I feel like just didn't work for me, there's one thing that's like running throughout pretty much the whole movie. It's where like a character, and this is mainly true with Aunt May, but it's just when one character says something or asks a question, that question isn't really answered. Like, somebody could be talking about one thing, and instead of responding to that, they will just completely twist it and just talk about something completely different. And I feel like that kind of took me out of it for a little bit. Also, some things, some storytelling things, some characters, their intentions aren't always necessarily clear. I mean, like, an example of this would be like when the thugs in the alleyway, there's just two of them are just walking down the street, and then Mary Jane comes by and is like, they just go by, and then like 3 more thugs join in, and then one pulls out a knife, and it was never really clear what they were trying to do in the first place. So I feel like that kind of took me out of it a little bit, but in the end, it's a great, enjoyable experience. The positives greatly outweigh the negatives for me. There aren't really any negatives at all, and this holds up incredibly well for a 2002 movie in 2019. Also, the score, man oh man. Hearing that score again, it just sent chills throughout my spine. It was just composed so well, and I mean, the score alone, I could just recommend this to anybody. It could be not so great of a movie, but I could just recommend it on the score itself. So in the end, it's a great, enjoyable story about a kid who has to learn responsibility when he gets superpowers. And I mean, I had a great time with it from start to finish. I was never bored. I was taken out of it at some points, but the movie always managed to get me back in, which is why I'm going to be giving Spider-Man 2002 an A-. And that's gonna be it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell so you don't miss any videos in the future. I've got a lot more Spider-Man movie reviews coming, as well as movie reviews in general. So if you like that kind of content, make sure to stay up to date with everything going on in the channel. Also, if you want to check out some of my other movie reviews, I'll leave a link up top in the cards. Make sure to check those out and leave a comment talking about what you think about this movie. And yeah, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Until next time, stay positive.